In a surprising but significant development, several Tuareg communities in northern Mali have expressed their full support for transitional President Assimi Goita. Once seen as distant or even hostile to Bamako, many Tuareg leaders are now calling for national unity and backing Goita's vision for a sovereign, secure Mali. This shift, both political and symbolic, marks a dramatic turning point in a country long fractured by rebellion, distrust, and separatist ambitions. The Tuareg endorsement is not just a simple political gesture, it reflects a deeper transformation in the relationship between Mali's central authority and the historically restive northern regions. Kidal, Gao, and Timbuktu, areas once at the heart of separatist movements, are now producing voices of support for the very government they previously challenged. For a country like Mali, which has battled internal strife for decades, this could be a foundational moment.
On behalf of CECIA, I am taking this opportunity to inform both national and international audiences that we strongly condemn, in the strongest possible terms, the actions and operations carried out by IFLA missions in recent weeks. These actions and behaviors are characterized by the abduction in Adelhoek of about 10 of our officials and community leaders, as well as threats made against our people in Tasek, Takalot, and elsewhere. It is important for everyone to know that each community has its own leaders and traditional chiefs who deserve respect, and that respect and consideration must be mutual, as this is the guarantee of tranquility and peaceful coexistence among communities. We also remind everyone willing to listen that our position, which is Malian, has never been hidden from anyone. Our support for the authorities of our country is unwavering and unquestionable. Our thanks go to His Excellency, Army General Assimi Goita, Head of State, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, President of the Republic of Mali, for the efforts made in the pursuit of peace, stability, social cohesion, and the fight against terrorism.
To appreciate the magnitude of this development, it is crucial to understand the historical context. Since Mali's independence in 1960, the Tuareg people have staged multiple uprisings. Their demands centered on greater autonomy, or in some cases, full independence for the northern region they call Azawad. These grievances were rooted in perceived marginalization, economic neglect, and a lack of political representation. The 2012 rebellion saw the Tuareg National Movement for the Liberation of Azawad, MNLA, seize northern Mali, declaring independence. However, the situation quickly spiraled into chaos as extremist groups hijacked the movement, leading to a French military intervention and years of instability. Kidal became a symbol of this fractured reality. It was a city within Mali's borders, but largely beyond its control. The Malian army, government officials, and state services were absent for years. It became an unofficial capital of the Tuareg resistance, a place where the national flag could barely fly without confrontation. Timbuktu and Gao, though slightly more integrated, also suffered from cycles of insecurity, weak governance, and the influence of non-state actors. When Assimi Goita assumed leadership after the military transitions of 2020 and 2021, many were skeptical. He was viewed by some as just another military ruler in a region known for coups and instability. However, Goita has taken a different approach. He distanced Mali from former colonial powers, especially France, and emphasized the restoration of sovereignty and national dignity. He positioned himself not as a puppet of external forces, but as a nationalist leader committed to reclaiming Mali's full territorial and political control. This vision began to resonate with groups that had long felt alienated by previous administrations. Tuareg leaders, many of whom had grown tired of failed peace agreements and foreign-managed negotiations, started to see in Goita an opportunity to engage with a government that might finally listen to them on equal terms. The shift from suspicion to support did not happen overnight. It came after months of quiet negotiations, visits, and shared efforts to secure northern towns from extremist threats. One of the critical turning points was the perception that Goita's government was genuinely willing to include northern voices in the national conversation. Instead of treating the Tuareg as a rebellious minority, the administration invited them into the broader project of national rebuilding. This subtle but important change in tone helped bridge a psychological and political gap. Across Kidal, respected elders, community leaders, and youth activists began to speak publicly in support of the transitional government. In Timbuktu, a local dignitary remarked that for the first time in years, people felt like they were part of the same nation. In Gao, Tuareg leaders praised the government's commitment to restoring services and security without excluding local populations. The effects have also been felt on the ground. Security cooperation between Tuareg fighters and the Malian armed forces has increased in the fight against terrorism. In a region where foreign troops are pulling out and international missions are winding down, this homegrown alliance is proving crucial. Joint patrols, intelligence sharing, and border monitoring have been boosted by the trust emerging between the two sides. Civilians, who have suffered most from lawlessness, now report a growing sense of safety and order in some northern towns. This new alignment is not only tactical, it is deeply symbolic. For decades, the Tuareg were painted as outsiders within their own country. Now, their leaders are stepping forward to say they are part of the nation and willing to help rebuild it. Goita, once a distant military figure, is now being received as a partner in peace by those once considered separatist rebels. In one statement, a Tuareg elder from Kidal declared, "We are not here to divide Mali. We are here to help it rise." International observers are watching this closely. Some regional actors, like Algeria, have cautiously welcomed the development, seeing it as a sign of national reconciliation. However, some Western stakeholders are expressing concern. They worry that the new alliance may shift the balance of negotiations regarding the 2015 Algiers peace accord. Others question whether the support for Goita might embolden more centralized power at the expense of long-promised decentralization. But inside Mali, the narrative is different. There is a sense that a new chapter is opening, a chapter defined not by foreign troops, externally mediated dialogues, or imposed blueprints, but by Malian voices coming together on their own terms. This feeling of self-determination, of reclaiming one's own path, is what is binding the Tuareg to Bamako more than any agreement signed abroad ever could. Of course, the road ahead remains challenging. There are still unresolved grievances among different Tuareg factions. Some may still harbor ambitions for greater autonomy or remain skeptical of Goita's long-term intentions. The reintegration of former combatants must be handled delicately. Too fast, and it could trigger new tensions. Too slow, and it may breed frustration. Development in the north is another pressing issue. Roads, schools, health services, and economic opportunity remain scarce. The government will need to show through action that this alliance is not just symbolic but material, that unity will bring results. There is also a broader national context to consider. As Goita builds stronger ties with the Tuareg, other ethnic and regional groups may begin demanding similar levels of attention and integration. The government must avoid creating new imbalances, even as it corrects old ones. National unity must be built on fairness and inclusion across all regions and peoples, not on selective alliances. Nonetheless, the support from the Tuareg is a profound development. It is a message that the dream of a united Mali is not dead, that those once divided by history can come together around a common vision for the future. It is a message that speaks not only to Mali but to the entire Sahel, a region too often defined by its conflicts, but now showing signs of agency, dignity, and determination. As these alliances deepen and Mali charts its course without foreign domination, the country's leadership is being tested like never before. But for the people of Kidal, Gao, and Timbuktu, for those who have lived through war, neglect, and occupation, the time may have come to believe again in a national home they once thought lost. If you found this report insightful, please like this video so YouTube can recommend it to more viewers who care about the future of Africa. Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe this newfound unity will hold? What can other African countries learn from Mali's evolving journey? Thank you for watching Voice of Africa. Until next time, let us continue to amplify African voices and stand together for peace, justice, and sovereignty across the continent.